Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your July 2026 horoscope. The main theme for July tends to revolve around Mercury retrograde. It will be retrograde for most of the month. And if you watched my Mercury retrograde video that I posted earlier, you'll know that the main theme surrounding this has to do with very, very old, like childhood self-protection mechanisms or like strategies for things you learned at a young age that you need to do in order to have your needs met. And now these sorts of things start to resurface in different ways in your adult life that are not always immediately clear. It's not always obvious that that's what's happening. And now these things are sort of, the universe is kind of making you look at some of these things. And for you, it looks like, so for many of you, you may have grown up in an environment where the family, maybe there wasn't a whole lot of room for like emotional understanding. Maybe they weren't super supportive of emotion, expressing emotion, or dealing with them at all. They were maybe more concerned with things like status, reputation, social standing, these kinds of things. And it could have led to a situation where you began to feel more like your friends are your family, more so than your family is. And then here, that and the sort of pressure that was kind of maybe put on you for career success. Um, this has driven a really intense focus on the kinds of things that maybe your parents valued when you were young, career, social standing, that sort of thing. And now there's an intense drive right now towards these sorts of career oriented type kinds of things, these more public image type pursuits. But at the same time, I mean, Uranus and Mars together, that's a really intense energy that can kind of be hard to resist. It's almost like an anxious motivation. But then with Ceres here also there, that asteroid which has to do with things that grow slowly. So if Ceres is in there slowing things down, while there's also this intense drive, so that can kind of be like uncomfortable. And this connection between Mercury and this collection of planets up here, you see these little blue lines here. So there's a connection happening here, which suggests that you may have throughout your life made a lot of social connections, people that you feel are more like your family than your actual family. Like it's easier for you to connect on that level with your social group than it is with the actual people from your family. And then through your work, you may meet lots of people like this. Now, at the same time, there is kind of a desire to change what you do in your work environment. Whether that's a change in career, a change in job, or trying to retire or something like that. But it's difficult to do that. It's difficult to let it go because walking away from this situation, this work situation, because there's another connection being made right here, between these here. So it's difficult to walk away from that because that's kind of where you've been getting your sort of emotional support in a way. Even if you don't talk about emotional things, there's still that familial kind of feeling of being connected with people. So walking away from this particular career or career environment, the work environment, is challenging because while it would be ideal, I mean, with Lilith down here, it's like it'd be nice if your family could be your family, but it seems that some of them are just sort of not willing or maybe not capable of really maintaining the sort of connection that you may feel like you need or want from them. So, in order to go with this intense change that Pluto down here in the sixth house is bringing about, there has to be a willingness to kind of venture out into the unknown, go into uncharted territory alone. There be dragons, those old maps that the explorers, when there was a part of the map that had yet been explored, they would put like here lie the dragons be here or something like that. Like, facing the unknown is frightening by its very nature. But I think it's like the sort of universe is maybe pushing you in that direction, maybe slowly at first, but eventually there may have to be a decision to kind of take the leap of faith and go see where things lead you. And I think the universe, maybe over time, is going to lead you more towards like individual connections instead of like large social connections, maybe through coworkers or connections you make through your work environment, and more like personal one-on-one, maybe like romantic relationships or just close friends with like a few people, and finding more of a connection through that than you did through the way, the things that we've talked about already. Hopefully, you get what I'm trying to say here. Let's see. And sometimes Virgos can have difficulty in expressing their sort of, their warm and fuzzy side. Maybe again through your work in some way or another. Maybe you were involved in some kind of situation that where there are very specific people that you kind of had to present yourself in a certain way to, if that makes sense. Like maybe, just as example, maybe your work or your life relies on people giving you funding or like grants or loans or organizations that need to see you in a favorable light in a certain way. And that kind of makes you need to present yourself in this very pragmatic, stable, kind of all business kind of way, which maybe comes natural to you as a Virgo. But then when it comes to expressing the more affectionate side of things, that can be a little bit of a challenge here with Venus in the 12th house and Leo here. And so there's a part of this where that starts to become the thing that has to be focused on, where uh, maybe you're no longer in a position where, or maybe if you change your career in some way, you'll no longer be in that position where there's a certain persona that you are supposed to present, and then having to learn how to express this more secretive side of you, this kind of hidden side of you, more comfortably, so that you can go and make those one-on-one connections. That'll be, I think, kind of where the universe is kind of pushing you, what is pushing you towards. And we are only at 6 minutes. Wow, I keep kind of hitting the whole point of what I'm trying to get at really quickly here. Um, so I guess really with Jupiter here, which Jupiter's misunderstood, I feel, in astrology. It's not just about good luck and good fortune and abundance. It's that it's letting the universe do it's letting go, and then that's when you get the blessings in that area. If you can't let go of the area that Jupiter is moving through and influencing, then it tends to kind of fight you. It's an overwhelming power. It's benevolent, but if you don't let it do its thing, it doesn't come across as benevolent. It comes across as something like the universe resisting and fighting against you. And so here in the 11th house, I mean, I think one of the primary challenges in moving forward for Virgo in the future will be letting go of the situation that allows you to have that sort of that group, that the friend family, yeah, um, the social group that feels more like a family than the family. But in order to really continue moving forward in your own sort of, conscious evolution, that may end up being a necessary thing to do. And the challenge, it isn't even just leaving behind the connections that you've made with Mercury retrograde there in the 11th house. It's also that you've gained a sense of identity. It's like these sort of social or professional networks, these groups of people. It's like they've been the thing that you sort of check yourself against. It's like these things kind of tell you who you are. It's your part of your identity. Um, and let's see. I mean, I kind of get the sense that a lot of Virgos you're kind of becoming an entirely new person, and you're slowly gathering the courage to lose sight of the shore, so to speak, so to where you can't really turn back anymore. You're just going into the unknown. It's difficult, and leaving certain things behind, or it's, some things are more challenging to leave behind than others. But ultimately, I think there is a strong drive towards this, just a change, and not a surface level change, just like a small, like things here and there, but like a total change in who you feel that you are and how you relate to the world and what you spend your time doing. Um, the metamorphosis. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. So if you want to get into a private reading, send me a message. All my information is down in the description below. Check out the website. Leave comments, like, subscribe. All that stuff really helps me a lot. And thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.